So I was actually kind of excited for this awful weather. But then I forgot that if it's cold outside, it's cold inside. Amazing. Back to freezing my ass off. So I've not had the best past couple of days. But I'm trying to practice radical self-acceptance and self-love and not being too hard on myself for it. It's been kind of hard, but I'm doing my best. And I've tried filming and I just could not put a coherent sentence together. So I decided to be a human potato again for about 3 days instead, which was great. So the reason why I'm starting this video while doing my makeup is so that I get something to distract myself with. So I'm not thinking that I'm filming, but I can still talk and maybe put together a sentence. We'll see how that goes. So I was getting a little bit worked up over my other videos. And when I was planning my next videos, I was trying to come at them from this level of an expert, forgetting that I've always wanted this to be like a together journey. I'm figuring things out, and maybe it will help you figure things out as well on your way, because I honestly half the time have no fucking clue what I'm doing. I'm just trying to put together all these lessons I've learned from other people and lessons I have from within and trying to put them together into some cohesive package, but it doesn't always work out. So yeah. Also, could you get any more pale? Because the thing is, when I talk about those things, I know the things I'm talking about. I talk about them all the time with some of my friends. I can talk about them for ages, especially when it comes to mental health and the whole self-love stuff. But somehow when I turn the camera on, suddenly my brain goes completely blank, and it's like that monkey. Even through that, I try to remember that it's okay, that I'm human, that not everything has to be perfect, that maybe this will turn into a video and maybe it won't. But it doesn't define who I am, and it doesn't define my worth or my value in this world. And I just need to take it as it comes. But at the same time, I'll lay in bed thinking about how badly it went and why can't I just make it happen? Why can't I just do it? Why can't I just figure it out? And almost punish myself mentally for it not going the way it's supposed to. But then not getting it right as part of the process. So through all these difficult moments, I try to practice that self-love and self-acceptance and stay present with it, even if it's not my good day. Just staying present with what's going on. And then if I have a good day, try to make the most of it, because it doesn't always come. It's not always there. Some days I am so on it. My days can be so productive. It's insane. Other days, it's almost impossible to even get out of bed. So this is why I don't like coming at things from the perspective of an expert, because I'm not. I'm just trying to figure things out as they come. And for all the grounding self-care ideas I can throw at you, they don't always work. They're not a magic switch. It's not like you're gonna have that yoga practice in the morning and suddenly everything is going to be okay, and suddenly everything will be all right. It's not like you're going to sit down to journal and suddenly you know all the answers. And then even if you do find out the answers, it doesn't mean you'll be able to translate them into action. I did the yoga yesterday, but it doesn't mean suddenly all of the issues that were happening went away. And physically, I just couldn't face things. So I slept most of the day. I'm really trying not to hate myself for it. And remember that I'm human. Even through stages of the days, I woke up a bit around 8 o'clock with all this energy. And I was like, right, I just need to do this and that. The surge of energy lasts for about, an hour or two? And there's things you can do with it, but that doesn't mean this will translate to the next day. And this is me really trying to translate this energy back into the next day. And I was so ready to just come in today with this freshness. But I'm not. Can I believe that for most of my life I haven't done my eyebrows? I remember trying once when I was in high school and it going really badly. I think the pencil I used had a little bit of glitter in it as well. So thing is though, I know my best on daily basis is gonna look completely different day to day. Even now, I couldn't have done that yesterday. This was not something that was available to me. Even a lot of the time when I'm trying to practice that, like radical self-acceptance and love, I have two voices in my head. One which is saying, hey, it's hard, but it's okay. Today, your best just looks different. And the way you get through today is just not going to look the same as other days. And then there's the other voice that says, real self-care is doing hard things. Real self-care sometimes is tough love. It's doing things that feel hard in the moment, but will make you feel good. It's like going to the gym or like having a run in the morning before I was locked up in my house. Before it happens, you don't really want to do it. But then once you start and once you pushed past the resistance, it's all good. So theoretically, I should push past the resistance of not being able to do anything and just force myself to do something, and then I'll come out feeling better. But some days it's just not happening. But that doesn't make me a bad person or a worthless person. It just makes me human. So I'm always struggling between those 2 points. Love yourself through it or push yourself past what you're able to do in the moment. I don't know. I try and do both. I try and balance it out. Some days I just let go, and sometimes I just let myself surrender into the nothingness. And some days I push past it because I know I need to. And some days I can. Some days it's available to me. There's that kind of sliver of something that allows me to push through into action. Like today, it was available to me in some way. I really wanted to make a video about how I do that and how I get my shit back together. Usually, I need to get my shit together before I film. And by then it's too late because I'm not really good at instructive videos about, hey, just do this, this, and that, and then you'll be fine. Because I find that very disingenuine for me. It's not genuine for my experience. But taking you through it with me is a different story, just showing you my process. But usually to get to the filming, I have to get through the organizing of myself and my life. So this time I pushed myself through it and was like, let's be a little bit more vulnerable than usual and show up completely kind of not ready. What do I want on my lids? Do I want... Well, I am all yellow. Ooh, and I can put that yellow on my eyelid. And then, ooh, yes. Although today is going to be a much slower day. I find those days when you organize yourself very crucial sometimes. I always try to figure out how to organize my time better. So today, I'm going to take you on a journey of doing that. But remember that it's always better to start small. Even if you are pushing yourself, start small with little steps instead of bashing yourself and throwing yourself in at the deep end, because it can just have even worse results than if you started a little bit smaller. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to plan it out and start somewhere. I'll be finishing up my morning routine, and then I'll be planning the heck out of everything. So this is why I like journaling, because for ages you can write and write and write, and you're just processing what you're doing, how you're feeling, what's going on. But in every now and again, you'll have those little breakthrough moments, like those little nuggets of thoughts, of mindsets, of shifting beliefs that will make their way through on the page. And I had that moment today when I was thinking about how I often worry that I'm always the same, that I'm always going through the same issues, always going through the same motions. And every time I fail is just, well, there you go again. But I kind of start noticing that I am feeling the shift. And that every time I fall, every time I pick myself up, it's a little bit easier. Every time I pick myself up, I find new ways of doing things. I find something I can shift, something I can change to make it easier for myself. Or I find new pieces of inspiration of things I want to do. And I get curious about following that instinct and following those little inspirations. This is why I recommend journaling. You can discover little things that just usually would go unnoticed. Okay, time to get organized. So what I did is I started with a big brain dump in the form of a mind map. And I chose to focus on the 3 main areas in my life right now: personal, freelance, and YouTube. So I started to pour everything that's been on my mind, that I've been meaning to do, that needs my attention, or that I want to find time for, but that's just sitting in my lovely brain. So in personal, I've got things like researching plans, how I want to pursue art and writing right now, what I want to do with my journaling and my reading. Everything I can think of goes on the page. Freelance has got some current projects and business-related things, and my YouTube has current video ideas, what I want to use to brainstorm new ideas, and what are my next steps in general, and any other things I'd like to explore in the future. Once all that's been done, I tried putting it all on post-it notes so I could easily see what has been done and accomplished, but they kept falling off. So anyone has any good post-it notes recommendation? Because let me know, I seriously need them. So then I just decided to organize it on my lovely A4 paper and stick it up on the wall where I can see it daily. In general, I would recommend using sticky notes, or maybe if you got like a whiteout board, because then you can easily see what needs doing, what you can replace, what you can take off, and you can keep that in motion so it stays current. But I find the most important thing for me is that it stays where I can see it. Okay, so that's the big portion of my planning done. I like having everything very visible and there when I need it. I always forget how much my mind clears when I get everything out of it and I allow myself to just dump it all on a piece of paper in front of me. Because now it's not all just stuck in my head, constantly going in the background. The thing I like about organizing yourself and planning things out is that it's a very good first step. I often do it too much and focus too much of my energy on planning and researching and organizing. But at the same time, it's an action. It's that first step forward. It shouldn't be there all of the time. I need to focus on actually doing the work, making the things actually happen. But when you don't know where to start and you don't know what to do, I feel like planning sometimes and brainstorming and dumping all of the ideas on the paper is a good first step to get the momentum to start moving. It's really weird because I do like the variety of planning. I need to have things written down physically, but I also enjoy having things planned digitally so that I can keep track of them. So I'll have things like this where I plan out my day on the day, but I also will use my Google Calendar to plan ahead. I'll even calendar block a lot of my time. One, because it makes my calendar look like I actually do something, especially now that I'm locked in the house for forever. But also because it gives me time frames and I can be like, hey, I wanted to spend those 3 hours working on YouTube. I wanted to spend those 3 hours working on that film. And I can try to kind of motivate myself by not having to choose what I need to do in that moment. For my regular to-do list, I'll use this and things 3. I have a big brain dump there as well. There's just so much. I recently pulled everything from Trello's, Todoist, even Notions. Basically anywhere I had a to-do list, I've pulled it all back into things 3. And oh my God, I'm still kind of trying to figure out how to organize it all, but that's just a slow process. But for daily to-dos, it's actually quite easy to navigate now. And for tracking projects, that's been a major help. And then for project planning, I'll use Notions because it's just a lot easier to get into the meat of things in there, as it kind of resembles Trello, but also Evernote. So it kind of combines things together. And it's nice to really break things down and really get into the meat of things in there. And then for my brain dumps, I'll usually use Google Keep and Notes in my Apple phone, just because they're very easy to access and I can quickly go back to them. So that's how I get my shit together most of the time. It takes me a whole day, and then I'll probably have to do it all over again the next week when I lose all of my motivation and will to live, but it's fine. Having planning days honestly helps give you the momentum to start. And honestly, that's all I need sometimes, is get that momentum and go from there. So hopefully tomorrow, when I come to film other things properly, I'll be able to think and put together 2 sentences, although it's still a struggle. So I don't know. We'll see what tomorrow brings. But in the meantime, I'm gonna not hate myself. I'm gonna have that radical acceptance and radical self-love. And sometimes I don't even know what that means because my brain wants to fight it all of the time. But I'm gonna try regardless to love myself through it and be kind to myself through it. Because it's just so tiring living your life according to other people, and I don't have any time for that anymore. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you've got any organizing tips for me. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one.